Hello there my friends, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I hope everybody's doing well and I've got my first instalment from this week's 90 Day Fiance. And I thought I was going to resist this week, but I simply can't. Mike and Natalie have got me pulled all the way in. I don't know who needs to hear this. Well actually I do. Mike, you need to hear this. And the TLC producers also need to hear this. Natalie needs to be off our screens. Not just for this season, but for all forthcoming seasons. And all forms of media, including those yet to be conceptualised, including podcasts and YouTube. I'd like no more Natalie to my eyeballs. Thank you. But in the meantime, I give you Mike and Natalie. Just before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you've yet to do so. Just 500 more subscribers to go and I hit 40,000. Who would have thought it? So yes, please subscribe and also smash the like button if you like what you hear. So without further ado, I give you Mike and Natalie. So we first catch up with Mike and he's in a hotel room. He lets us know that he took the night off to stay in a hotel with Natalie. But surprise, surprise, they got into an argument. Regarding what, I hear you ask? Take your bloody pick. But this time it's our old faithful. Yes, it's one of the classics and one of my personal favourites. It's Hookergate. Oh God, not that old crap again. And well, apparently it got too heated and Natalie stormed off and went to stay with Juliana. And guys, I've got to say, if production dare to let us down over the Hookergate scandal, I'll never ever forgive them. And even if I get early onset dementia and I forget, I certainly will never ever forgive. There was a sneaky Mike or a sneaky runner hanging around that place when the alleged offence took place, and I want to hear all about it at the tell-all. I'll not accept anything less. So yes, according to Mike, Natalie went to Juliana's and she's ghosted Michael. Oh Michael, most men would be very lucky if Natalie fucking disappeared. Poof, she's gone. Yay! But not Michael, he's moping about. And so when we catch up with him the following morning, he's in a taxi with the producer and he's on his way to the hospital. He still can't get hold of Natalie, and so they drive around and around the car park looking for sightings of Mike's blue truck. And suddenly he caught sight of it. But there was no Natalie inside and he realised she must have already gone in to her appointment. And I did feel a little bit sorry for him. He looked very forlorn and he said, "Oh my God, she has just been ignoring my calls and she's driven herself to the hospital." Oh Mike, she wasn't necessarily ignoring your calls. She was just too busy slagging you off in Russian with Juliana. The air was blue with Mike's misdeeds yesterday, let me tell you. But guys, I do think that she is the ultimate piss taker. She makes a massive hullabaloo and a big argument out of absolutely anything and everything. How can you possibly create an argument in which you storm out when you are in the wrong? How possibly? With ease, says Natalie, with great ease. So let's survey the facts. In addition to Mike having to pay for Natalie's operation, he's also wasted one day from work. He's further wasted the cost of a taxi ride around Seattle looking for Natalie, and he's also pointlessly wasted the money for one night's stay in the hotel. If I were Mike, I'd be bubbling with rage. And Mike tells us that Natalie argued so badly with Mike that she had to go to Juliana's house. I don't know that I believe that because I've seen Mike for many seasons and realistically he doesn't argue. He does his passive aggressive irritating crap, but he isn't per se argumentative. He's much more likely to just walk out. I think it's something Natalie cooked up to try and make Mike look like the bad guy and to try and get Juliana to feel sorry for her. And Mike's now standing gazing wistfully at his truck. He said to producers, "It felt like a slap in the face. She doesn't give a crap whether I'm here or not." Mike, how very dare you? Now that's not true. She doesn't want you anywhere near her. Mike, the further away, the better. Anyway guys, what Mike did next was the very first time I've ever been proud of Mike. It's the very first time he's ever stood up for himself in a positive way and not a passive aggressive pussyclart way. Mike had the key, so he got in the truck and he drove it off and he said, "Good luck in getting back to Squim, Natalie." Go on, Mike. It's about time you put your foot down. We're all behind you. Let her find her own way home. And I gotta tell you, the E-Bird's grinning ear to ear, but I suppose she has just had an operation. It's a little bit off, I suppose, but well, I guess she'll just have to stand and wait for like 3 hours for him to pick her up. And the next time we catch up with Mike, he's driving on his way back to the hospital. Oh Mike, you haven't just let me down, you've let my subscribers down and you've let yourself down. And Mike concedes that after driving for a while, he realised that he's not going to solve anything by going back home, so he decided to turn round and pick her up. It would have solved something, Mike. It would have taught her a goddamn lesson. But yeah, I guess it would be pretty rank to leave someone after they've just had an operation at hospital with no means of transport, no money, and nowhere to go. So I guess fair enough. I was so looking forward to the showdown though. And the truth be told, I don't know why I'm talking the big talk. Several times I've told my younger brother, get out of my car, and I've never driven off yet, so I guess it sounds great at the time, but it takes about 3 or 4 minutes for you to come to your senses and realise I can't just leave them there. Oh dear, poor Mike. I guess at least he hasn't got the embarrassment of leaving her and then having to go back. At least she doesn't know what he did. Well, I guess she'll know in time. Well, I guess she'll know now, but she never knew in real time what he'd done, so I guess there's that. And so Mike stands around in the car park all day, and you can see nightfall, and he finally takes a call. And it's one of the nurses from the hospital, and they tell her that Natalie's come round. Natalie's getting ready to leave the hospital, and she's recovered. And it's quite unbelievable. You can see the love from Mike because he's so relieved that she's come round. So Natalie walks out of hospital like a sulking child, and she says, I'm very hungry. I'm very tired and I don't feel very well. And they drive back home to Squim. And she says, finally, Michael, I can smell again. Really, Natalie? We'll get your nose in Mike's closet. There's a plethora of smells for you to enjoy. There's stinky undercrackers and mouldy socks. Oh, she's missed Mike's closet. She really has. But guys, even though Natalie's still dazed and confused, she still takes time out of her day to be a patronising and condescending see you next Tuesday. She gets home and she said, Mike, I want you to do something very important. Go into the car, look onto the back seat, and you'll see something black with 2 handles. That's a bag. Pick up that bag and bring that bag to me. Natalie, why can't you just say, Mike, can you get my bag out of the car, please? She really can be such a dick at times. And then he said, I need to get you to bed. Come on, get into bed. And he got her into bed. And then she said, Michael, I want pickles and mushrooms and potatoes and butter and cheese. Sounds great. If I really think about it, guys, they're all the foods that it takes to regenerate your cells and to heal after an operation. And Mike does his best to look after her. And he said he's not going to argue with her at all at the moment. He just wants for her to get better. And now she's laying there in bed. It gives me a good chance to get a look at her nose. She has bandaging on it, but I can't really tell if she's had anything cosmetic done or not. The truth be told, I thought her nose was fine, so I don't know cosmetically what she would have done. But I do know when my friend had her nose job, she did have 2 black eyes, so let's see if next week black eyes appear. And so that's everything for this week. So what does the Ebird make to all of this? Well, I think that Natalie definitely wants to leave Mike, and she's setting up the scene to make Mike and his family seem as bad as possible so that when she leaves, public opinion will be on her side or at least split. Oh, Natalie, I've seen it done before and I've seen it done better, the truth be told. You really didn't have to do all of this. Mike needs absolutely nobody's help making himself look bad. He doesn't need anybody's help, and neither does Trish. And once again I'm here in my very familiar spot. I don't know who's worse, Mike or Natalie. This week the gong goes to Natalie, but who knows, next week's a whole different story. But yes, Natalie, with this operation, you've been nothing short of despicable. In my mind, you've purposefully made this whole nose job Mike's fault and made it as fraught and as awful as possible just to actually wind Mike up. First of all, you just booked it without so much as a cursory conversation with Mike. Yes, you spoke about it a couple of months ago, but you never said you were going to book it. You never said where, when, or with whom. Secondly, you discussed everything with Juliana before you even discussed it with Mike. You knew that would get on, and you knew good and well that would get on his nerves. And then you decided to lie about it. You had no say in the date, apparently. Well, all of my subscribers seem to think that you can book operations in to a certain extent, just as I thought. And then you had no idea how much it was going to cost. Why ever not? Mike's got full health insurance at his job. Don't worry, I've checked with Mike's benefits package. You're included, wives are included in his health insurance. So you should actually have been able to get any operation which was for medical reasons done completely free of charge. Interesting, very interesting. And then after Mike had taken the day from work, you decided to argue the night before about Hookergate again, and then storm out to Juliana's. And that's a move that I think was very likely planned. I believe it was done hoping that Mike would storm off and you would be able to come out of the operation on your own and say, oh my God, I was all alone. My husband didn't even support me. Bad luck for you that Mike was there anyway. Even when you saw him there, you weren't relieved and happy to see him. You just got into the car like a sulky brat. And then you continued all evening to speak to him as condescendingly as possible. If that's not looking for an argument, I'll never know what is. Natalie, we've got your number. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Natalie's looking for an argument because she's actually finally on her way out and she wants to sway public opinion? I certainly do. And the second question I have for you is, do you think Natalie has had a proper nose job? I literally couldn't tell because my friend had the bridge of her nose done, so I think they had to smash it or something. But I do know there's a way they can kind of go inside and do stuff inside. Ew, it makes me feel so squeamish to think about it. But yeah, so anyone that's had a nose job, weigh in, let me know what you think. Her pictures do look as if she's had a nose job, but she may have photoshopped them, so we don't know. And the quality of camera she uses for her YouTube videos, I literally can't tell. Can barely make out her facial features, never mind her nose. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'm going to get on with my next video. Guys, it just leaves for me to say, like, subscribe, share the video, all of that good stuff. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. It really does mean a lot. And also thank you for the comments section. It's lit as usual. So I'll see you soon. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.